Ronnie. Big deal. Sort of a big deal. Okay, so drag it. We're gonna come in, we're gonna Maggie cam, pre-tape, and then after pre-tape we'll bring everyone up and we'll ride the rest of the way home. Don't call me boss. Fuck. There's no bosses here, bro. Yeah. El Jefe, I'll take. This is Meg. She's the, 14-time employee of the month. She's our top earner. Yeah, she's got a good wait till she gets up here. Starts the show every time. We got the camera right down there. That's amazing. She comes up here, she starts the show. Come up. Come up. Ain't you, bud? Well, I'm gonna get to a lot. Oh shit! Your personal stuff. Is it perfect? Do a quick measure. I will tell you, I keep thinking about chopping that deck outside to get that herb put down for mine.
Now's the time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Literally, we
Rototill front. I think that there will only be like you guys can come up here. You come and hang out. Yeah. way better than just sitting randomly in the Twitch studio. The Twitch stream has been just going crazy.
I think we're going to get a few something in. You guys have been putting effort into it.
We're now doing commercials on this.
And
As much as I hate that, perfect. Absolutely.
so, do you get any of that thrill to get down? So that's great. But it's passive income, definitely.
Yeah, it's not pretty good.
Oh no, I think that one is not
Yeah,
We could actually flip if you want.
no, it's all good. Sure? No.
Whatever.
We could figure out after that 2.5. Get that in. Normal rotation. I'm just sitting like this, talking right here. My phone. And our arms are like our best, give or take, depending on how maybe I'm still just. That's the beauty of having it. When I do, I have to like record it, make sure, because I've had a couple times where I don't know anything about anything. So like everything through here, I just learned by fucking up. So I fucked up the camera, fucked up the mic, fucked up the camera. I think there's too many things that I can fuck up.
Yeah, it goes back hard to get your rap. And like do like adjustments on your phone.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Oh, that's
like
cool.
camera angle.
Hey, we almost had it, bro. Stream Deck. I think it might have to be changed. No, it's good. We're good. Hell yeah. We're live all the time.
Yeah, that air one. Is that off time?
Could be. Margaret,
What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah? Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into a very special edition of your show. I am still officially your very overweight host, Gary. I made the mistake of stepping on the scale at Mom and Dad's. Did not go well. And we're not even sweating it out because we got a lovely AC in here now. So I don't know how I'm going to lose it. Maybe I'll have to walk a little bit. We'll see how that all goes. This is still, as far as we know, the only show in Saskatoon going live from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. And we're so damn proud to be able to say that to you because it's just like we grew up with scheduled viewing. And that's so unbelievably cool. Before we get to anything else, I want to say a very special happy birthday to my buddy Sven. as apparently he was out shanking balls and hitting trees on the golf course earlier. I hope your balls, the ones that aren't your golf balls, don't go too low because you are getting very old, and I've noticed sitting down becomes harder, so be aware. What's it called? I guess ball awareness. Very important, young man. I guess old man now. But I love you. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have the most special day, my sweet, beautiful Shawnee. If you know him at all, give him some love because he's a very, very good person. Now, this show always kicks off with the greatest camera in the history of cameras. I don't care what you're talking about. Nothing tops this. So much so, it's got 5 awards. And we're going to prove it to you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mega Cam. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful job. Margaret, you're on camera. Be cute. Cuter.
That's pretty cute. I don't know.
She literally did an eyebrow raise, okay? That's, all right, you win. You always do. The Maggie Cam, proudly presented to you by our fantastic friends at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. When you walk through those majestic doors, you're greeted by Leroy, who is also a welcoming and greeting dog. Leroy, very fun. Met Maggie. Sorry, Drag. We got Drag on the ones and twos today. I met Maggie through the puppy greeting convention held in town here. They fell in love instantly, and now they both work in the puppy greeting business, and they're both very, very good at it. Leroy, when you walk in the door, his bed's right beside it. He walks up to the till. You say hello to Rochelle or Mike, and your shopping experience just keeps getting better from there. They got all the raw food you need. If you want to switch your dog to that raw food diet, they got the fridges in the back. They also have the world's greatest cleaning station right there ready for you. We're talking the soap. We're talking the blow dryer. We're talking the hose, everything you need, and a harness to keep your puppy in there. It's always a lot of fun. They also have all the latest fashions for you and your dog, be it the new buckle-up collars or the matching leashes that are available now, as well as all the poop pickup utensils you need. And they got treats galore. They got toys. They got so many things that you'd have to go in there to experience it, okay? You got food. Again, most importantly, kind people everywhere, whether it's Mike and or Rochelle during the business day or after hours and on weekends with Kirsten or Chris. They are there to make your shopping experience the greatest in the history of pet store shopping. I'm telling you, you have to check out Pet Planet on 8th Street. They are your pet's natural grocer. You want one more with Maggie Cam? She's still being really cute. I noticed we cut it a little bit. Was there some issues, Draga? No? Cool? You're okay? There it is. Look at her. God, just could watch her all day. All right, now go back to me. Now go back to Maggie. Now go back to me. Now stay on me. Now to me again. And Maggie one more time. And now let's throw it to our Rider Outsider. Day 3 of Rider Minicamp in the books. Thank God we got the best in the business when it comes to outsiders. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Rider Outsider himself, the great LB.
Yay.
You know him as the host of The Viewing Room. New episode out now, part 2 of Thunderbolt.
I took the live stream from part 1 and we combined them into one episode.
Nice. So now you can get the
So
full meal
you get
deal.
the full meal deal.
Perfect. Hey, Maggie, stop eating that. Please. Hey, stop it. Stop it. That's the cardboard for my slippers. Oh, she's just a beast. So, day 3 going down. You were there, my friend, and a lot of exciting things happening. Give us a rundown.
Full pad practice.
Hey,
so that
first
makes
one?
that makes it exciting. Yeah, I believe so.
Please tell me the sweet sounds of crack, helmets and all that was out there. Oh, I love that.
Yes, that was the best part of it is just hearing the and just seeing the guys get to go a little harder. Like you get a better idea of the drills and how the offense and defense are matching up when you can actually kind of
yeah, well that's the big part of this. Do you find that the guys can actually show off what they can do a lot more now with
the
full
defense
pads?
can.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I think the defense is put at a disadvantage by not wearing pads. Because, I mean...
You were saying that yesterday.
Right. The receivers, their whole goal is to not get hit. So if they're not wearing pads, it's just all the more reason to not get hit.
It's just touch football.
You know, right?
Yeah.
But for the defense, you can't... maybe you would have made that tackle, but since you can't, really, grab
destroy,
and... right?
Yeah.
And so I think it gives you a little bit more of an idea. I mean, obviously not the same because they're your teammates, so you don't want to...
And boy, oh boy, do you ever get in shit if you hurt someone out there.
Yeah.
Not a good move.
Yeah.
Not a good move. So there's that. We're smacking. We're going. Was there 7-on-7s or any of those type of those
they
scrimmages?
did full 12-on-12 ones, and they did some one one receiver, one DB matchups.
Nice. I love
Just rotating
one-on-ones.
through
Yeah.
all the players. That was good. Lots of like individual drills.
How was my guy Misery today?
He wasn't getting as many reps. I think they probably took a look at him and I'm like, okay, we know what he can do.
Okay.
He still had a couple good plays. Trent Penix again, he was
Yeah.
getting a couple. Those two from yesterday, same thing today. Who else? Duncan Busby. Now he was on the roster last
I
year.
remember that name.
He was wasn't a starter, but he did start a couple games.
Yeah, he was filling
after
in once
injuries.
guys starting one down. Yeah.
And so he got some good reps. AJ Allen, again, another starter from last year, had a great interception. Yeah.
Who's my guy with all the interceptions last year that we love? Roland Milligan. Roland Milligan. Was he out there today?
Oh, yeah.
That's my dude.
Again, I feel like some of those starters that they know what they're capable of.
Oh, yeah. They're just sort of
not-
fillers.
Yeah, right?
You
They're
already
just-
know you've made the team. You don't have to prove
Yeah.
anything, but your job there is to lift
Yeah.
the other guys up and sort of show them the ropes
Yes.
and then know what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big news, though, or not big news, but
Big news!
exciting moment.
Okay.
Not exactly. I don't know if it's exciting or not. So
Well, it's
they're
not going to be
running-
now. There's no way you can live up to that.
They're
You
running
really
the
came
12
it
on 12 drills,
Okay.
and they run a drill or whatever and scrimmage, and all of a sudden we look over and there's like a fight happening
Here we go.
behind the line. I
Here
don't
we
think
go.
I don't think anybody saw it. Like all the people in the stands were like, I didn't see what started. I just saw the end. But anyway, they kicked two players out, and Trevor Harris was involved. Like somebody was having to pull Trevor Harris off. So I
That's
don't
not good.
No, I don't know what happened. Again, I nobody saw it that I was talking to. So I'm
Cardboard. Cardboard. Told ya. Ridiculous. So
I'm-
no one knows what happened, but there was a scrap.
I'm guessing probably somebody got too aggressive.
Yeah. Put hands on our quarterback, bro.
Yeah, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
and so then somebody stepped in, or I don't know what would have happened, but yeah, they kicked two players out, and I think that's good. I mean, neither of the players were like starters, or they were both
Well, they're guys fighting for a job.
right, and
That's what
I
it
think
is.
that's the sort of thing that you need to nip in the bud. I think they should be gone. We don't need them back.
Really? You want a full see you
No,
later.
this team has had such an issue with discipline that that's the way you're acting in training camp. Now, what are you going to do when you get into a game time situation?
You're talking like a coach right now. That's crazy. Coach Mace, he's our head coach. Eh?
Yep.
Look at me, I'm saying R. I'm not saying R. I'm not the guy that says I'm a part of that team. I'm not wearing a jersey. I'm going to make Drew Remenda proud. He hates when you say that we, us, are, because you're not an actual part of the team. So
Yeah, but
I
it's
always
my-
try to stay
it's
out
my
of it.
team.
You're okay. You're okay to do it. I made a vow to him. So I
Okay.
just don't do it. But the quarterback, most important guy, if you're getting involved in any way, that's a real quick
Yeah.
ticket out. And I think Coach Mace, like you said, is probably pretty aware that we're not going to have any of that this year.
Mhm.
So set a standard right now. Say, all right, here's what happens. Everyone knows. Back to it.
It's unfortunate because one of the guys, Justin Jefferson, was making plays. Like he had a couple good plays. Right before.
Yeah.
And
And is he
then-
a receiver? Or was he a
No, he
lineman?
is a linebacker, maybe a DB. I can't
Okay.
remember off the top of my
But a
head. now.
defensive player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson. I always think of the NFL. Justin Jefferson.
Or Willie Jefferson.
Willie. There's another great stud of a football player. Is he still going? I think he's in Winnipeg
I
or
think
something.
he's been in Winnipeg for quite a few years now. I think he's
beast.
still. They had a bunch of those kind of guys retire, but
Yeah, it's so fun how you just get to look at all the different teams in the league and how all of their best players are former riders.
yeah, it's either we get the best players after their prime, or
Yeah.
we give players before
Before
their
the
prime.
Go Riders. Anything else stand out before we call it here, brother?
O-line was getting some good reps. They were rotating who was at center. I was trying to watch who was at center. Again, that's the other thing that really stands out on full pad is the line, right?
Yeah.
Because that's their whole job is to push each other. So
That's it.
they were rotating in. Zach Fry, Logan Furlan were getting lots of center reps, so that's good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Day 3 in the books. He'll be back at it tomorrow as we continue our journey into the regular season as a now officially non-official, I don't want to say sports viewing show. I'm trying to, how do you say accredited but not accredited, but still followers of the show and talking about a team?
What you just said.
We're going to have to work on that one. From the viewing room and our Rider Outsider, his name is LB. Thank you so much, brother. We'll talk again tomorrow.
See ya.
So there you go. Our very own Rider Outsider in the house, getting you all caught up on day 3 of Rider Camp on this, the Tuesday edition of your show. If you haven't followed along yet, we have themes for every sort of day here, or episodes, if you will, of your show. On Monday, we have the Female Monday show where Brooksy or Emily May or other women come by, and we have women-friendly chats as we learned about endometriosis the other day. Very interesting stuff. Tuesdays, well, you're about to find out about Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we got the All the Way Around table with our hosts for said All the Way Around table, including our friend Adrian the Canadian, who lives in Australia, hence the name All the Way Around table. Thursdays, we got CTV's Matt Young stopping by, as well as other guests, including Johnny Factoid. And Friday is the Friday Fun table. Now, this turned into the All Out of Angst podcast show, thanks to our co-hosts for the day. It is an audio version waiting for you. It's all done up real nice, as well as this that you're about to witness. And we even have an intro for it, which I will play right now. Welcome to All Out of Eggs podcast. This should be a done there, hey? Can't win them all. Ladies and gentlemen, from all the natural products and all the bands, and with a special guest, it's Uncle Mike and Matt from all the bands, a special guest! Hold on, I got something for this. Loud in the producer's ears. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Air horns. We got air horns now. Boys, we're back. We're doing it. And we have someone here who I am so excited for. Something you've been teasing for a while over there, Matt, from all the bands. Why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our special guest for the day?
We got Gary Mason from the legendary Oswald's Walking Connection here with us today. We've been talking about it since this podcast started. We're like, we got to get a real guest.
First stepping stone.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Not we. This was you, my friend. You did it, and I
feel like
I'd
Gary,
to say you did it. Well,
I feel like
you
Gary
did it as well
I
because you
have had
accepted.
a small part in this.
You did say yes.
I did say
That's
yes.
that's the part. So yeah, right there. Just before we get to anything else, I do want to state that my top 3 bands of all time for a long time has been NoFX, Propaganda, OWC. That's where I stand. And the only album I ever had was the best of OWC, and it's in the Tahoe at my brother's house right now still, and because that's the only place I've ever had a CD player. Changed my life. So many songs, and we were joking earlier, so many song titles that I don't know the names of any of them, which I think is so cool because that's been an ongoing theme for a long time.
Yeah.
We talk about it. We can sing every single word and have no idea what the title is. But just so you know, following at home, all 3 of us are really trying hard not to be the fangirls and not to be like, oh my God, this and that. And it's hard because when you're doing stuff and listening to all this amazing music for so long, you never expect to have this moment.
For me, like, when Untimely Demise started as a punk band, it was like the holy grail of like the Saskatoon punk scene was like Oswald's Walking Connection. As far as like, you know, we want to become like a real band like them or whatever. So yeah, to have Gary here is awesome.
Yep. So cool.
I guess maybe I could start with like just get 1 or 2 of the generics out of the way. Like, so when you first started, it's like, was it like you guys were high school buddies and you said you were going to start a band, or how did you guys initially meet?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go way back.
Hop in.
Hop
The
in
old
the
time
time
machine.
machine.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Tim and I, drummer, we're actually family.
Okay.
So
nice.
I've known him my entire life, obviously. Buddy Bert, met him in high school, grade 8, and yeah.
And
That's it.
were you guys always a
Lifers.
3-piece? Like, or-
We started off, actually, first band we started off with was, we were a 5-piece, and it was not great. As first bands usually are.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, that was basically just a couple cover songs here and there, you know, high school stuff. Tim and Bert started with another guy, also from Bert's hometown in McDowell, and they started doing shows, but then he couldn't continue, so they asked me to step in.
And had you played bass before that, or it was
No.
kind of like most of us when we started our
Oh,
bands?
hell no.
You know,
No.
you join the band and then you figure
gotta
out what
figure
you're
it
gonna
out.
play and
That's
how to
it.
play it. But
Yeah.
Yep.
but I was like when I was listening just on the Bandcamp, there's like there's like 31 songs. I don't know if that's the discography or
I think it is.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get over how good of musicians you are. Like, do you guys have did you guys have formal training
Thanks,
or
man.
like how? Because for example, like there's like it's not just like playing power chords. You guys have a lot of riffs, or you'll have songs where you're starting and you're playing like a very melodic bass line, or there'll be like a walking bass line behind, and then there's like like very like in key like vocal harmonies that you guys have. So it seems like you guys have some sort of musical training, or was that just
Myself, I had about 3 guitar lessons back when I was, I want to say, 15.
Yeah.
And those never went anywhere either. That was all the formal training I had. Everything else was just
in the jam room?
fly by night. Yeah.
Because I love again with
Just
the
sit down with the albums, play through them, feel them out.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love how tight you guys were. Like you'll have things where there'll be like snare hits and you guys all grab the accents along with it, and it's just it seems like you like how often did you guys jam in a
Oh,
week
back
or like
then?
like you guys are so tight.
Back then, we would get together, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week at least.
Yeah.
And just
Sounds like
Yeah.
it.
hours. And, you know,
Just get in the
a couple
zone.
cases of beer,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
sit down, make noise till our ears bled, and
Hell yeah, dude.
got up the next morning and did it all
And
again.
was that kind
Yeah.
of the songwriting process? Was you just be in the jam room and somebody would play something, or someone would like
Yeah,
have
for
a
the-
beat, and
For
then
the most part, yeah. We
like
would,
did anyone ever come in like, hey, I've got a song or I've got lyrics or was it just in
We
the
did
jam room?
that more when Hans came through.
Oh, yeah.
He actually had a couple songs that he had mostly fleshed out, and then we just kind of figured them out as we went along. But other than that, we would basically just, most things would start with a riff or a little bit of a beat, that kind of thing.
And would you like, because well, some songs even they start with like there'll be like a bass intro or whatever. So like, would that have been like you
Or
came
chanting.
up
Chanting.
with? Yeah.
Hey, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Did it again. I promise I wouldn't. I totally
That'll
won't. I
happen.
apologize.
That's okay.
That'll happen.
Whenever we're talking about jocks, it always comes up. Here's a song about a jock. Those guys
Yeah.
are all saying, bragging about their leg the cock, driving their brand new Mustang. Like the lyrics. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead.
Lyrics were all Bert.
Man, amazing.
I can't write lyrics to save my eye.
That's
It's a gift.
that
It's
makes
a-
two of us.
Yeah,
It's
makes
a
two of us,
gift
yeah.
for sure.
Not a lyricist.
Yeah.
Matt will attest to how difficult it is to come up with something interesting to
Absolutely.
sing about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I can't sing.
So
I
because
cannot sing.
I was
hard.
wondering because there are like
I could scream.
vocal harmonies and sometimes there's almost like call and answer stuff. So who's doing the other vocal?
I shouldn't say that.
Oh.
I would do some of the backups. Hans would do a lot of it.
Okay, yeah.
He's just an excellent.
That's
he
that's
can pick
like
up on
Long and
melodies like
McQuaid
that.
hands.
Yeah. Yeah, he can pick up on that stuff like nobody's business.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
he's a fantastic musician and singer, and yeah.
yeah.
I
He's
think-
always had.
I think we could all agree
Had it.
that, and you did a pretty good job of spotlighting it already, the amount of talent in the band, because, and I know you say you're getting your reps and you're doing your hours and you're doing all that, but still to be able to put something out there that long ago and still have it be so relevant today
Oh,
is such a
it's-
huge
man.
badge of
Yeah.
honor, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's
you-
awesome.
Yeah.
Even the like who did you go with to record these, or
Yeah.
would I like because like the production is really good.
Yeah.
Like
If we're looking at, you got to break it up into eras, right? So
Yeah.
The really early stuff we recorded with Studio in Prince Albert. I can't remember the guy's
it
name.
was just somebody that
Just
record.
a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what we were doing.
And was that like
Just kinda
live off the
winged
floor where you guys were like playing the
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then you just added the vocals after, or were even the vocals, or do you recall?
I think it was all live off the floor. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
And you could sort of tell when listening to it too, hey,
'Cause
because
it's got that energy. Yeah.
Exactly. You can tell that everybody's in it as they're playing. It's
Yeah.
very cool how it like comes off like that.
After that, let's call them the mid years. We had a guy, Simon Head. He would come through from Toronto. He had a mobile recording studio. You may remember him from such ventures as sound guy for SNFU. What else?
No big deal.
No big deal. He did stuff with Treble Charger. He's still recording and playing from what I know. Great guy. Anyway, so he came through. He threw his 24 track mixer, mics, everything into a van, and he would cruise around Canada, like back and forth, and just record.
Do you know like how you guys got together, or who like was the? Or it just it's like, hey, there's this guy that's from Toronto. Because like for me, I guess
I think we just heard about it. He was rolling through, and we had friends who were like in the know, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this guy's coming through to do recording. Do you guys want to record? I'm like, yes, we do. He came up and set up in my basement of 3 different houses that I lived in, and recorded us every time, and it sounded great.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vocal booth in the bathroom.
Nice.
Guitar amps in the bedroom, drums in the living room, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Bass
That's the
way
dream,
off in the
man.
garage or down in the basement, and
To me, that's so cool because, like, again, at the time, it's not like now where everyone has Pro Tools and everyone can just record anything super professional. Like, back in the day, like, when I did my first recording, it was with Steve Bortman, you know, and we laid down, I think, 10 tracks or whatever. But I just remember feeling like, what I'm putting down here is going to be around forever. And I just thought that was like such a magical idea. And it just felt like that was one of the first things for me where I felt like I'm actually like a musician.
Like it
felt like so cool and so real. Like, so I imagine like working with an actual professional would have felt pretty cool, or like that would have been.
It was really neat. I got to admit though, for the most part, I never really thought about that. It was just,
We're recording.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
That's another thing, yeah.
Just do it. Okay, what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Should we put it out? Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you guys were so cool. Like
I was just like,
Yeah, you say it so well. It was like the punk rock band's punk rock band.
Yeah.
You know?
There's
I
like,
certainly never thought I'd be sitting here talking about it 25 odd
Man,
years later.
it was such a big deal for us as like punk rock guys. You know, you'd be playing your mixes at the parties, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, time to go local. And then it's like the local band. And then everyone's singing the words like, this is the best thing ever. Because you're going no effects, then OWC, then propaganda. It's like, it just puts you on that tier, which is like crazy.
And I think one thing for me, just kind of this brought up something, you know, back in high school where you had buddies that maybe weren't, you know, into a lot of the same music as you were, but they had Quarterback, you know, they had Skater, they had like these standard,
all the skids,
right, you know, and so guys that but they liked you or they supported you, you know, because you were a local band, right? And it kind of bridged that gap of like, you know, maybe guys that I wouldn't have anything else in common with at school or whatever, but then it's like, oh shit, you got OWC on your, you know, in your car at the party or whatever.
I think that's a big part of what dragged me into punk rock to begin with. It wasn't just, you know, this mythical band up on stage that you would never have the chance to talk to, or, you know, you never know anybody in that position. And then all of a sudden, you know, the punk rock world comes along and, you know, it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, you're at a show or something, you're watching it, and you're like, man, I really like this band. And then 5 minutes later, the guy's standing right beside you talking to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
We're all the same.
That's kind of cool.
The
Yeah, they're
same.
just people, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I liked about it, was the accessibility.
Yes.
I liked the family aspect of it, right? Like, you know,
100%.
most of the people that I met through music over the years, best friends ever. You know, like,
because they're already coming in like-minded individuals.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Beautiful thing. We are hanging out on the All at Angst podcast. This is the Tuesday edition of your show as well. It does moonlight. We got Gary from OWC in the house. We've been talking about it for a long time. He is finally here, and we're going to continue the conversation right after we get into a little bit of a live read because we got to tell you about our good friend, Mobley Llorente. I guess we're going to go right here? We'll go right here. This is good. Why work with Mobley this spring? Great question. If you're looking to buy a home, he's got your back. Mobley Llorente with TMG The Mortgage Group works with multiple lenders to find the best financing options, even if you're self-employed, have non-traditional income, or face credit challenges. His services are completely free, and he's here for you from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Whether you need refinancing, a mortgage renewal, or just expert advice down the road, he will always be there to help. That's Mobley Llorente, Mortgages Made Simple. Give him a call or text him anytime at 306-370-5804. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a live read, and if you think that might benefit your business or your organization or your charity or anything you're trying to push, well, you can hit us up. It's very easy. We have an email. Maybe go widescreen so we can all toss this one, Dragon. This will be good. So we have this email, and I sort of stumbled upon creating a theme song for it. And poor Matt, being like the singer, he's like, I'm always trying to get into it, but I'm only here once a week, so he can't really get into it.
Never get it.
But some people have learned the song and have joined along. So just a little heads up. It's a pretty catchy little tune. And it goes a little something like this. Hit it. Send us an email to contact@dufferinave.com. Just Mike.
This is the email. This is the theme song.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That is the email. This is the theme song.
Even better.
There we go.
See? Congratulations. Here.
Thanks. I'm learning.
And then once we're done with it, we love having fun with the graphics. So we get to look at this and we say, all right, I don't think we have any more need for this. So we're going to throw it right at your face there, Gary. On 3, 1, 2, 3, get out of here. Very well done. Also got a website, perfectly sized sign. The size is just so nice on this. Dufferinav.com is the place. I'll just air wipe that one like that. And we even got, I've been calling it, it's the Hansel of Twitch streams right now because it is so hot. Dufferin Ave Media, the official twitch.tv/Dufferin Ave Media is where you can check us out. Uncle Brando and I were playing Super Ninja Boy again today for a couple hours, and we made it quite far, which was good. A lot of progress. And if you play RPGs at all, you know progress is very, very good. You can find us over there. One more time, twitch.tv/Dufferin Ave Media, and I'm going to try to go 3 for 3 and send this one all the way up to Twitch Heaven. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wrong button, bro.
Denied.
That's why we go live. Is it still going to be? I still got rid of it. But now I really want to send it. Hold on. I'm going to send it. Come here, you. Yes, I am, Dragon. Get out of here.
Are there theme sound bites for those? Like, whoosh.
There is an air horn that I'm just peppering him. There we go. Dragon gets so mad with his air horn, and it's like, might as well just be right there. That's the last one for the next couple minutes. We should get sound effects for
Maybe we record them. We record
with our voices.
Own, yeah.
Whoop. We have the tooth booth. Shout out to Dr. Funkhauser and Associates, the Big Tooth on 2nd Ave, donating this amazing tooth booth that has done an audiobook. Check it out. You Can't Stop Love. The great John Fast is the author. Find it on Amazon, and the audio version is also right there for you, recorded entirely inside said tooth booth. Now, back to our guest, as a lot of us, you know, we're going against all of the things that we've been taught, like never meet your heroes, and you don't want to meet the people that you idolize, and all these things. I feel like this has been fantastic. Can we all agree on that?
Yes, because Gary's a nice guy.
Yes, one of us. When
they turn out to be better than, you know, normally it's like, and then they're an asshole kind of thing. But
yeah.
It's like, when they're not, you know, it's awesome.
It's a very, very nice thing. You mentioned SNFU earlier. Have you ever met, or did you ever meet Taiping?
Yes, I did. Several times.
Please, do you have any stories? Because every single person I've ever talked to that's met Taiping has about 1,000 stories, and each one more crazy than last.
I wouldn't say any crazy stories per se.
So you got to know like the human,
yeah,
the man.
Well,
because I feel like a lot of times the stories sort of.
We did play with him a couple times, which was really cool.
Was that in Saskatoon? Or?
That was in Saskatoon, yes. And then actually I ran into him once randomly in the Midtown Mall. He was just wandering around, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that there's nobody else that looks like Chai.
Very
right?
distinct. Unique
He's
style.
very distinct.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm just wandering around. He asked me for a smoke. I didn't have anything because I don't smoke, but
You're like, I can go buy some smokes.
Whatever you need, sir.
I can do that. No, he was just wandering around, killing time. He was in town he did a side project after, like in the SNFU break years.
Yeah.
What the hell were they called? I can't remember what they were called, but he was in town for that anyway, and he was just killing time. So we just chatted for a few minutes, and then he was off doing his own thing. And I think I went to buy socks or something. I don't know. Just,
See,
rock and roll.
That's
Rock and roll
the
stuff.
calmest story I've heard, because we're always bombarded with all of these stories about how he was like the craziest guy in Canadian punk rock.
Yeah.
And then, I'm always looking for like, what was the man like? Because I feel like the stories have built up this, persona that no person could ever live up to.
Yeah.
So it's nice to, humanize him a little bit, I guess.
I always liked how, because he was, kind of downplayed, his, like it's never like he was walking around like, oh, I'm the singer of SNFU. He looked kind of like a fairly normal guy in
That's
general.
the big joke at any SNFU show. He'd just come up out of the crowd and jump up and start singing. Like, that's him?
I liked it because it kind of was like a poser detector in the sense, because SNFU did, draw like the jock workout crowd, like that crowd as well. And, someone would make fun of his appearance or whatever. And then, 20 minutes later, they see him up stage and everyone's raising their fist to this guy. And then those people...
Then he's throwing a puppet at him.
Yeah.
So many stories, man. Were there any other big-time names or big-time, bands that you, I guess, connected with over your journey?
Well, actually, the poster over there reminded me. We played with the Smalls quite a few times. Love those guys.
Hell yeah.
One of my all-time favorite bands. Played a few shows with them.
And I will give them a lot of credit. Cora Blund got a lot of people into country music after all that, which was very cool.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Who else? Yeah.
But when I was listening before the show to that discography, all the punk bands that I was just trying to think of like what your influences might have been from what I heard in that, and I heard Smalls, I heard SNFU, I heard kind of even like a Vandals, kind of vibe, stuff like that. Yeah. But did you guys have, like a hero band that you were emulating, or it was just kind of whatever?
Not per se. We just kind of we like to draw on a little bit of everything, right? We all had pretty diverse backgrounds, I'd say, growing up. But everything fit, right? We'd take, like, I know Bert, for example, he was big into, like, he grew up classic country, like, dyed in the wool, like, finger picking, like, cowboy country.
Hell yeah.
His mom was an excellent guitar player. She actually taught our drummer how to play guitar when he was a kid as well.
Of course.
Why not?
There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, there was no real, like, we never set out to sound like any band.
Like in your jam room, did you have any posters of a band or was it?
Our jam room.
Here we go.
Our jam room at the time was my uncle's workshop. Woodworking shop, so we had no posters. We had to keep everything covered with plastic so it wouldn't get 3 inches of sawdust on it.
Yeah.
I think I still have sawdust in some of my electronics, actually. And then after that, where did we practice? We practiced in a cabin in the woods out in McDowell. So very little power and not a thumbtack to be seen. So no posters. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
So no posters.
Yeah. But after that, just shows that we'd go to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty typical. Again, I always say when I went, I was checking out a Poser Disposer jam, and I saw
Shout out to Poser Disposer, bro.
All of their
that's my dude.
All of their show posters up on the jam room, and I'm like, one day I want my band to have that.
Yeah.
God willing, we did it.
Yeah.
But
so cool. And you actually just put one out.
actually should have brought one here today, but
Well, I am going to get it loaded up on the back screen so it'll go in the
nice.
rotation.
And
so
I'll bring you a physical one just so we got one.
We got places to put it for sure.
So
That's for the anniversary show?
yeah, the
Nice.
20
Yeah.
Very
June
pumped.
7th.
Very pumped. Check it out.
Tavern.
Um,
7th.
So when you started jamming and you had a set together or whatever, like when did you like say we want to like play, you know, in Saskatoon, or we want to like, how did that come about, or was it just like someone booked a show and then you're like, we're gonna do that?
Okay. We practiced for not as long as we should have, to be honest, but whatever, right? We would play just out in the woods. Like I said, we'd play out in the woods by ourselves for quite a while. When we started coming down to Saskatoon, we hooked up with some friends of ours who were going to school at the same time, and they were really involved with the Saskatoon scene at the times. I don't know if you remember that club or not. It was in a basement on 22nd Street. Do you know where the Burger King was? I think
22nd, yeah.
22nd. I think
Oh,
there's
yeah,
an
yeah,
auto place there now. Anyway, the building's
Cool.
gone these days, but it was down there anyway. So we hooked up with the guys that were running this club, and they're like, "Oh, we were looking for local bands." We're like, "Hey, we're a local band. We'll play a show." Yeah. So and we started playing there.
And then just from there, it was just like, well, like, did you
From
ever
there, it was game on.
did you ever
Yeah.
do like
Yeah, yeah.
quote unquote tours, or was it kind of just we would do like a show, or you know, there's a festival or something happening?
We did a lot of one-offs. We would do Alberta quite a bit. We did a couple prairie runs, you know, so Winnipeg, Regina, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon. We do that one quite
Yeah,
a bit.
because again, for me to make it as a band, I always thought it was so like you guys had an actual van and you guys could tour and had the ability. Like to
we
me,
had
that
the
was
shittiest van. It was so bad.
As I'm sure most of them are.
That's a
right?
big part of being in a
Is that
band,
the one
yeah.
you had showed me when I was at Shangri-La? After?
The one out in the bush?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the trees growing through it? Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it was an old Ford, not an Econoline, because that was our better van. It was a Dodge, a big Dodge passenger van that would suck a liter of oil every 25 kilometers or so. And
Not good.
we thought, yeah, that's perfectly safe to drive to Alberta in the dead of winter. Yeah. So, other than that, we didn't really go out farther east than Winnipeg. We did go south down into the States a few times, like played some like North Dakota, a couple shows down
And
there.
at that
Yeah.
time, it was probably like you could just kind of drive in, and it's like we're playing a show. It's not like you needed to have
Oh
B2
no, we
visas
lied.
and-
We lied through our
Oh,
teeth to get into
swear.
the States.
But again,
yeah.
it wasn't like all over the internet.
I'm sure the statute of
like,
limitations is gone on that,
Right,
so
yeah.
it's
You're
safe.
gotta be
Yeah,
safe.
it's
Say
good.
now, yeah,
It's
of
good.
course.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if you try and sneak in, and you know they'll just type up your name, see that you're playing a band, and then it's like, oh wait a minute, there's a string of shows, and then
Right.
you get
Yeah.
busted. Where
I remember we came back from the run in the States, and it was just the shows were fun, but they were how should we say, sparsely attended.
which is pretty typical. And did you do like venues / like house basement shows, house shows? Because I know like house
they
shows
were-
were a big thing.
Yeah.
House shows were a big thing.
Yeah.
We did venues, mostly all ages stuff. But yeah, when we were coming back, I remember the border agent searched us hardcore.
Ooh.
Like everybody out, stripped the van down to its bare bones kind of thing.
Jeez.
And we were in danger of not making it across the border. And then finally he's like, Bert was over schmoozing him, and he was excellent at that. And he ended up sweet talking this guy, and then all of a sudden the guy found a flyer that had our name on it from like the week before, and he's like, well, what's this? You weren't supposed to be, you said you were doing volunteer recording.
Yeah.
And we're like, and then Bert ended up schmoozing him and found out that this border agent had a teenage kid that was into punk rock, and so then he's like, well, here, how about some merchandise? How about this? And he basically bribed our way out of getting searched at the border.
That's it.
And then threw us back in the van, and then we're off we go. It's like, what the hell?
What just happened?
What just happened?
We are hanging out with Gary with 2 R's from Oswald's Walking Connection here on the Tuesday edition of your show, also appropriately named the All Out of Angst podcast edition of your show. Uncle Mike, we've been hogging the mics over here, though.
No.
I think we should give you some time. Go ahead, please. Please talk before we continue to start talking and talk more.
No, I think, I mean, you're kind of asking all the hot questions. I'm just happy to be listening and getting the info. I just love the history, you know.
That's it.
All those cliche questions, like when did you start? How did you start? You know, what were the inspirations? Like that's.
I'm gonna take this time, actually. Sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, not at all.
That's for you, Gary.
No.
Enjoy.
Kidding me?
Please
Still
note
in
that
its
it's
wrapper?
still sealed.
Oh,
And
no way.
I want to showcase our wonderful artwork.
Amazing.
Artwork.
This is unbelievable. Look at
Those are also original. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, my goodness.
How long have you had this for?
That would be since 1998.
It's a cassette. in case you're
97,
wondering.
give or take.
Well, we got
Sealed.
This is exactly
There you go.
why
That's
we
for
have
you.
this table.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
never leaving.
There you
That
go.
is never.
never
It
leaving.
also showcases our stellar clip artwork.
But that's the
I love
thing.
it.
That was the cool thing about
right.
the punk
Totally.
cities. Like,
Everyone did it themselves. It was like, screw the establishment. I don't need no help from nobody. Let's just get together and let's do this shit.
I also feel like we really half-assed it on a bunch of our artwork.
But it works for what you're doing and for how you sound and the things you're singing about.
Yeah.
It's perfectly. It's you guys.
I think
you know?
that I think that just adds, like, we're not in it for the fancy shit. Like, I love the music, right? And so that's really all I care about. And honestly, that's like when I started Uncle Mike's, it was like, you know, people are, oh, you got to make a cool, fancy logo. And it's like, I don't care about that shit. I just want to make good, like, it's in the music. It's in the meat and potatoes of it. It doesn't have to look fancy. It's got to sound good. It's got to taste good.
don't tell me that the Descendants, like, everything sucks. It's like a Matisse. Like,
Great drop there too.
Yeah.
Descendants, another sort of
which I could kind of hear.
comparable. Yeah,
can
right.
kind of hear
for
some.
sure.
I prefer enjoy myself, but to each his own.
Okay.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
to each his own.
That's it. Fart on your face. Enjoy. So, oh man, that show, dude. That show.
Yeah.
We went to the second last No Effects show in Edmonton, and the Descendants were there, and I had no idea. Like, I almost forgot. I knew deep down, but I almost forgot how much I love the fucking Descendants.
Oh yeah.
So good.
They're playing again in September in
Sweet.
Edmonton.
So are we
and
going
Calgary
back?
again? I guess.
All right.
Nice.
Well, if we have to go
Yeah,
back, we
maybe.
have to go back. Red Dot Records.
Red Dot.
Is that your label?
I can't. I think that's the only thing that was ever released on that imprint. To be honest.
So sweet.
Yeah.
I will never stop making that stand up.
No,
because it's
I
too
think
special.
actually there was 10 Count. Put out
Oh,
some of their
cool.
albums on there
That's
as
cool.
well. Yeah. But that was the extent of it. We just like, we need something to put on the back of this.
It's
That's how they usually start, right?
Yeah.
the
So
damn shame there couldn't be like a discography re-release on vinyl or something at some point. Because man, like the quality is so good.
I think you know a guy. I'm just saying.
Make it on
But-
CD though for me.
But yeah, so one thing again, because it seems like everything you're kind of just like, oh, that's just how it worked out, or you're kind of like the Johnny Cash style. It's like we didn't have a plan. It's just this is how it worked out. But like, yeah, some of your bass I hear like it's like clean, and then sometimes it's almost got like a bit of a distortion, like a pedal. So like, was that a thing, or was it just like
that's just because I bought a distortion pedal.
Okay, okay.
Now I got a new toy.
I got a
Gotta
new
use
toy.
it.
It all
Yeah.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I don't know, natural progression,
Yeah.
just start off doing one thing and then eventually other influences kick into place and you just, for a while there it was like, let's make it heavy. Let's get heavier.
And it's kind of
And
cool.
let's kind of progress that way. And then it was like, oh, let's get poppier, let's do that. And so it just kind of bounced around, but
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because again, with being like a three-piece, when you've got the distorted bass, it can kind of act as a bass and a second guitar too.
Yeah.
So it does thicken things up.
Yeah.
In the live aspect.
and one of the bands I was in subsequently, Robster Cross, we did two basses. and I did a lot of distorted high-end stuff. So
you
it was more
recorded
like
two like of the same lines, or
no, we
just
two bass players. Yeah, two bass players,
Cool.
and we would do just like counter lines and stuff. And I would play mine more like a guitar basically.
Yeah, I hear that in
It
your
was just
playing for
straight
sure.
thrash.
Where a lot of times you're playing the bass note, but then you've also got a melody happening. So it makes sense. Yeah.
That's my tiny fingers. I got a good reach. What can I say?
I've always said I was just a couple inches away from being good at guitar. You know, I have like small hands, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Could never play anything, and I don't have any talent or skill. But I always like to blame the small fingers. That's
Definitely
my
didn't
go-to.
have piano fingers.
No,
That's for sure.
definitely
Yes,
not.
Short, stubby.
I'm at a point now where I feel like we're friends. I feel like the second you walked in, it felt like that, but now I really feel like we bonded over this amazing time. We got about 15 minutes left hanging out with Gary. 2 hours from OWC, one of our favorite bands ever. And I just, as far as the songs go, now we talked about the lyrics and all that, but when you were touching on it earlier, sort of the different, I guess, flows of the songs, like the Jock song is just like, you know, and then to go to like, what was your favorite kind of sort of punk rock to play? Were you all about going fast?
My personal favorite, I really like the crunchy poppy stuff. That's just what resonates with me.
Yeah.
But I also like the really fast stuff.
I guess that's why it's peppered through all your stuff. Each one's awesome in its own way.
It's a very eclectic kind of sound.
It
Like
really
it's
is.
got a signature sound, but it's diverse, and you know, at points I even hear like metal aspects because there's like so much riffing happening. It's
Well,
not.
there's an instrumental that's super heavy.
Yeah.
Like at the end of like it's all there. And we say it all the time around here, the importance of being different. And if you want to stand out, you have to do what no one else is doing. And I think your whole discography is a perfect example of that. Don't ever pigeonhole yourself into one box. Be able to soar, or else that's all you're going to be able to do.
And that's, I mean, I just drove back from Humboldt and was listening to the discography because I was like, oh, I've got an hour to kill. And so
Hell
let's
yeah.
fire this up.
Do
It
some
seems like,
research.
no better time. And exactly like Matt said, and this is kind of what I was thinking when I was listening to it, is that, man, it just has, like, it's your own sound, but each song, like song to song, it's a different sound. You know?
You're not like
And-
AC/DC
Right,
or
where it's-
Motorhead.
Yeah. And I don't know, one Right War? Is that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah. It's just like, man.
That sounds
You just got to say we don't know the song names. So yeah, you can say anything.
But it's just like that one, just like, I just felt it, you know?
Yeah.
It felt good. Like that was,
I always
the
smile when I
type
listen to
that
it.
you know?
I think a lot of that too is it was natural progression of the band, right?
Right.
So what we would mostly do is we would write a song, and then usually it would be within the next 6 months that we would have it recorded. So it was just write it, record it. A lot of it was we would write, like I remember we wrote stuff the day that we were recording the one time. And it was just like, oh, let's just bring this song together and get this down, and then, you know, and then it's there. So it's like it's very snapshotty, right? So we started in what I want to say 96 or 97, somewhere in there, and till 2001, somewhere in there. Anyway, there's snapshots. So I like to say that it's a lot of natural progression to from where we were to where we were going, and each one of these recordings is just a little snapshot in time.
Right.
That's really cool. So that makes sense why it's got everything's unique, but still a signature sound.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, this is me just being an old ball, but I don't think you can have bands that sound like this anymore, because you guys were in the jam room 4 days a week and you guys were writing this music together, and it wasn't like you could, like, for example, for me, if I want to write a verse to a song, I can play it 50, 100 times, and then the next day I'm like, no, it's not, I'll redo it. I pieced together a song, and it sounds great, but it doesn't have that tight feel like you guys had, with guys in a jam room. So I don't know. I just think that's so special and cool, and I would like to see it get back to that at some point where a band can just play every song that they've written, and it's not like, like a lot of times someone will write all the material and then show it to the rest of the guys, and this is what our set's going to be when we play, but the live performance doesn't sound as tight as something like, a band that grew up together writing music together.
Yeah, it's a totally different process too. Like, as you know, you get in the jam room, things flow. You're playing off each other, following visual cues.
Yeah.
Like pick slides or scratches, or like maybe the drummer hits his stick on the rim or something, and you're following that, and you're like, okay, we'll go that way. And I'm not saying that different songwriting methods are the way to go, but there's just a totally different feel between like writing a song, like you said, like sitting down and like playing the riff over and over and over, and then sending it off to somebody and then getting it back and working on it that way. It's a totally different monster, right? And it leads to a different song, in my opinion. Yeah. But not, like I said, I'm not discounting it. Yeah,
it's just different styles.
It's just totally different.
But I find with the writing that you guys do, there's these sort of like stop pauses or little things, or like where you all hit along with the snare, and it's
chanting, lots of chanting, man. I love the chanting.
But those things to me like put life into a song. It's not just like it's like first chorus, blah blah blah. Like when you put these little like pauses or whatever, to me that's like the cool stuff that.
A lot of that is like, oh, Tim dropped a stick. We better stop for a second. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Pick it up again. Yeah. And again, I think like, in our teenage years when we were kind of, being introduced to new music and having, you guys, A, a band that just ripped and sounded great, B, that you were local, and, potentially experiencing some similar things because we live, in a similar vicinity or whatever.
Relatability.
The relatability of it, I guess, and to get to the level that you got to, because I think it's something to, to be admired. Like, it just
it's a big deal.
Yeah, like even the sparsely attended, when you're doing out of country shows, that's pretty cool. Any way you look at it, even if no one shows up, if you went to the States or wherever and played a show, to me that's something that's very like.
I got a question for you, Matt.
What's that?
What is your worst attended show?
I'm gonna say
sparsely attended.
Sparsely attended. What's your sparsely attended show?
When we first did our first runs out east, like we would go out to Quebec and back, and we would always do a show in Thunder Bay because it's like it's Thunder Bay, it's a city, we got to play it. So we would always go there, and the first time we went, it was this huge venue, probably like could fit 500 to 700 people. We show up, there's like the bartender and the sound guy that had a cowboy hat that apparently was the sound guy for Helix or whatever, and so we're doing our sound check, and he's like turning up mics, and it's like and he's like turning ones that weren't even part of our set or he didn't know anything. Either way, the opening band showed up and like no one was there, so then they just ended up taking their stuff and leaving. And I think it was the bartender, 2 of the members of the opening band, and the sound guy at Thunder Bay, and me and Murray and Scott. We were 3-piece at the time. We kind of just like made a triangle, looked at each other, played the set, got paid our money that we were agreed upon, and left. And so I'm gonna say we had 2 people, and they were part of the show.
Well, we got you beat.
What? No way.
I knew it was a setup.
Show off.
Yeah,
there we go.
It was a setup. Yeah, I fully admit it was a setup. We played in Fargo, and it was an all-ages club. So not a huge, like, probably maybe a capacity of like, I'd say 150, right? It was a small place.
Perfect size.
Yeah, it was it was like great. Oh, awesome. You showed up, and we were touring. Had a band from Yorkton with us, and so it was like a bunch of us. There was like 10 of us, right? So we were all it was a fun time, right? Yeah. Cruising around, and we show up, meet the guy, meet the sound guy, whatever, and like, okay, yeah, like we'll set up, and what time do you want to get going? Okay, we'll start it. We'll maybe get on a little bit earlier because I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday or something, and I can't remember. So we come back, we go out and we find something to eat, and we come back and we're hanging out, and we're like, okay, like when are people gonna? Is anybody gonna be showing up here? What's the story? And so our friends from Yorkton set up, and finally they're like, well, let's just play. So they played, and there was like the sound guy and another guy, and then us, and I think a few people like filtered in.
So you're talking few here.
There was a few, but then they finished, and then by the time we got up on stage, because we're like, well, we'll just get up and go, right? We'll just use theirs. We just kind of sharing gear, so it was not a lot of turnaround on the setup. And we get up on stage, and I look out, and there's one person standing out there, and it was the guy who was there because he had the keys to the building. I was like,
really hope you're gonna say
so
you're a
we
super fan,
we finished, we played like 3 songs like back to back, and then we were like kind of stopped, and I look out and I was like, is it just you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Do you want us to keep playing? He's like, sure. I was like, okay, great, we'll play. So we played. But yeah, he was the one guy.
I like that. Not only he was like, "Oh yes, please," he was like, "Sure." Like he was just indifferent about it too.
It's like, I could go for either way.
I was like, yeah. So do people normally show up to these things? He's like, yeah, usually. It is kind of, I don't know. It's kind of nice out, so people are probably out doing stuff. I was like, okay, great.
Wow,
nice town you got here.
You know?
Yeah, don't you know?
Yeah. For me, that was where the anxiety for playing shows always came from, because we all had those shows where you get ready to do this, and you drive a long distance, and you get there and no one's there, and it's like kind of very deflating.
That's,
you set the bar low, then you're never disappointed.
There you go.
That's my life motto. I would say that all the time. I've been saying that for years. You can't go lower if you're already at the bottom.
Lowered expectations.
Nice.
There. Okay, we're up against the clock, but I have one final question for you. If you were to say one thing to the kids of today about how you think they should go about creating music, what would it be?
Wow.
You
had that up on the T-ball stand, and you were just like, okay, here we go.
It's because I would like to know too. Like I genuinely have no idea how to get kids into the music that we all love, because they just don't have the time or the interest to even give it a shot.
Well, if you're thinking about making music, and if you think you have an idea about something that sounds good to you, then do it, right?
Hell yeah. Stay true to yourself.
Just do what you like and do it well. Or you know what? Do what you like and do it half-assed. It doesn't really matter. Just do what you like, and then eventually you'll find an audience, right?
This whole place, this whole network is all based around just good people trying to do good things and lifting each other up. And when we first started, I had so many people say, well, you have to do this. I say, well, why do you have to do that? I say, well, because that's what all the other channels do. I say, well, why the hell would I do that?
Yeah.
Well, because all the other channels do it. I said, don't you think it'd be beneficial if you did it differently? I said, I would never, this place wouldn't be the place it was if I gave in to all the people that tried to say you have to do this because of money, you have to do this because of views, you have to do this because of subs, and all these things. I said, I don't care about any of that shit. All I want to do is make sure we create really cool, awesome, entertaining shit, and then people will follow, because that's what it is. Make sure the quality is good and everyone else will come.
Yeah. I really dig your ethos, man.
Die by your own design, if you will.
Exactly.
Okay, on that, I think it's time to wake Frankie up
Nicely
there, Dragoon.
Nicely done.
And we're going to play it out. So we have a little piano that plays right now for the last about 2.5 minutes, and these guys have gotten really good at playing the piano. So don't mind them. They're just going to get a little weird, but in a very good way.
That's all.
Man, I got a little low. Dragon, can you turn up my headset at all? Just because we got the AC going now. Perfect. There you go. Wow. Our first ever guest on this show was the great Merbs, and I hate to say it, but I think this one just went a tiny bit above. I love Merbs. We all love our sweet Merbs, and we'll get him back in here as many times as we can. To get a guest that we dreamed about when we first started this thing, and to not only have you join us, but contribute and be entertaining, and most of all, being kind and caring, man. That's what it's all about here. The second you walked in, you want to talk about the ethos and the aura, you were shining, man. Like it's like this is a place where you were supposed to be for this last hour, and we're so thankful and grateful to have you. It's so cool. And thank you for the cassette.
Do I have a shot at the Employee of the Month?
You know what? You have.
Do I have to get on payroll first?
Nope. Okay. Nope. This performance today, dude. If you come back, maybe that's how we can throw some incentives out. If you ever come back, we might put it up on there in March.
I can't do that today. Yeah.
Either way, we would love to have you. This show is always too short. I'm noticing it's too short now.
This one especially.
It used to be like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And there'd be a little dancing around. But now we're at that point. I guess that's the quality too, getting the reps in, which is also important. Now we're streamlining everything, and the shows just go like that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Love to see you again, and keep doing what you're doing. And I feel like we made a good step in making the world a better place today, thanks to you. So really, really appreciate it. To you two jabronis, I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much for walking through this little dream today. It's very, very cool. We will be back tomorrow with the all the way around table. We might even have some of the regulars, as in Coach Mazer, I believe, might be here. Apparently Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson got reinstated to the Hall of Fame. Oh. Anyone? You're a baseball guy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we'll delve into that a bit with Adrian the Canadian, Simon Hyatt, Curtis Anderson, and Coach Kamatu. Until then, please remember, do good things and they will start happening to you. Karma is oh so real, and I cannot stress this enough. I got an OWC cassette tape by just doing good things. That's a perfect example of how that all works. Thank you so much, brother. Really
You're
appreciate
very welcome.
Have an amazing rest of your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Smell you later.
That's the catchphrase.